The great Esco from Harlem.
That's right.
Harlem!
Being able to express yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a gift. That's a God-given gift.
Knowing how to connect with people and knowing how to speak to people, know how to read the room, like that, those little things can take you so far.
And they must have seen the look on my faces. They said, don't worry, Esco, you're going to like the name. Esco's Pizza.
Wow.
I was like, man, I play too much. And I think that if you're going to manage, lead by example. You learn something.
Yeah.
Whether you
I like that. You learn something.
Huge believer in you give respect, you get respect.
And that is amazing.
It's all necessary with
All right,
Tifanisage.
Hello. I am your host, Tifani Sage. Welcome back to another episode of It's All Necessary. This is a space where we're reminded every life experience that we go through, whether big or small, it's only to help prepare us and propel us into our next level of life. So it's all necessary. Before we get into this juiciness, please remember to like, subscribe, share it, leave your feedback. I want to hear from you. Okay, let's get this thing rolling. So today, my special guest is none other than the great Esco from Harlem.
That's right.
Harlem. All right, so let's just jump right into it. Oh, let me say this too. Esco is the owner of Esco's Pizza. I got that?
That's right.
All right, let's get it. So childhood. I know I said, well, you told me you're from Harlem, but where are you from and what is your fondest childhood memory?
I'm from Harlem, 125th Street in Manhattan. My fondest childhood memory. I'm old, you know what I mean?
But you look young, so.
I'm 37,000 years old.
I want to be like you when I grow up.
So we always lived in Harlem, 125th Street. My father had a deli in Astoria, Queens, when I was like 7 years old.
Okay.
And so, that time span, I think, is some of my fondest childhood memories because my cousin lived across the street. And so I spent as much time at the deli with my father as I could and then running around with my cousins outside.
That.
So,
Were you the guys like on those dirt bikes riding in the street and stuff?
You know what? I don't ride.
Really?
Nah, I don't. But everybody I know does.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
If I feel like in an alternate universe, I was that girl riding on those dirt bikes. I was like riding a bicycle, but I mean.
Now shout out to Go Hard Boys, New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
They do their
stand
things,
up.
The Bronx. Yeah.
Who would you say, who or what poured into young Esco as far as like putting time and attention into you and, kind of like grooming you, or was it yourself?
Nah, can't take credit for that at all. I got lucky and I'm blessed because my home life was always fantastic. You know what I mean? My mother's an educator, and she worked for the New York City public school system for 30 years. So she was a teacher, so she was on me. You know what I mean?
Wow, okay.
She was very involved in my school life. And, I was wilding.
I was going to ask, I was like, wait, so were you studious? Because I feel like, I'm not going to stereotype, but I feel like there's some guys where they're like wild outside of school, but when they're in school, they're like, nah, I got to get this done. I got to do this.
Nah, I lived a double life, for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So we go, one, pop, pop, pop. All right, so my name is Tifani Sage. I'm a confidence and clarity life coach. If you're feeling unfulfilled in your life or you don't know what's next for you, I'm your girl. I can take you to new levels of clarity. Click the link in my bio for a complimentary, complimentary call with me so we can get your life on track. Click the link so we can connect.
But my mother was not playing. You know what I'm saying? Like we sat at that kitchen table and we did essays together. And she,
Shout out to moms.
Nah, big time. Betty, love you, ma.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And then also my father, so at home, I spent a lot of time with my mom. She was like all day, every day. After her long days at school, and I'm the youngest of three. I got two older sisters.
I was going to ask, okay.
And so we all spent a lot of time focused on school and things like that.
Wait, you said you're the youngest?
I'm the youngest, yeah.
Baby boy.
That's right. and then of course my father, like, you know, my work ethic, I think that I get from him big time because he, my father, Mexican, came here when he was like 16.
Wow.
And so he had, just like me, every job in the book.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he took a big swing in like, I don't know, maybe like 96 or something like that. And he bought his first business. He bought a deli in Astoria, Queens. And
so from Mexico, he went straight to New York?
Yeah. He came to New York City when he was like 16. And then worked in restaurants and things like that and all manner of interesting jobs. And then in 96, he got his opportunity to buy his own business, and he bought a deli in Astoria, Queens. So, and I mean, like, it's like anything. It's like long days and nights. So I spent a lot of time with him.
I have like so many other questions spring to my head, but I'll try to like relax. Just
I got answers.
smooth into it, right? Okay. Aside from your mom, or as far as role models, who was your role model?
So when my father bought that deli, the deli man who was working in the spot, his name was Angel. And so the first day I get there and I'm tagging along with my pops, and the deli man says to my father, like, "Oh, how is your son?" He's like, 7. My son's like 8. They can hang out together. Forget it. After that, it was me and Angel.
Wow.
So it was Big Angel and Little Angel, his son. And it was me and Angel, 19th Street, baby. And you know, he raised me. He took me outside and showed me the ropes. So
even and you're talking about Angel, or
so Angel, Big Angel and Little Angel. Big Angel is his father, and he worked in the deli with my pops. And then you know, from the first day, I was just hanging out with, and he became my cousin because actually my aunt married his uncle. But we used to tell people we was family before that. But in terms of like a real role model outside, and you know, teach you, you know, respect and how to make people respect you and things like that.
Tap into that because I feel let me choose with my words. I spoke with my dad the other day and he was like, he gave me some little tips. But on the outside world, or I guess teaching someone how to respect you, what was a tip that you learned?
You know, I think that it came to me over many years, but I think a lot of it has to do with your presence. If you're calm and cool, you know, people can't read you. And so sometimes that's good, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know, getting to the point right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not a lot of fluff.
Oh.
Because if you give people, I guess, the space and time to beat around the bush, then they're going to. But if you get directly to the point, and we can just talk about what we got to talk about.
Time is money, okay? Time is money. And I feel like there's a fine line between, so I'll use, for example, when I'm playing tennis with my brother in the mornings, he's like, "Come on, let's go." And like, we're pretty like time sensitive, but sometimes I'm just like, can we just relax? Like, come on. But it's true, when you know you're, I guess, doing business with someone or messing with someone who you know, like, time is precious. It's just, there's a different level of respect, you know, out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a huge believer in you give respect, you get respect. So, you know.
Yeah.
But,
shout out to Big Angel and Little Angel.
yeah, it's my peoples.
What are some similarities and differences of your personality from when you were younger to how you are now? Even though you said you're 37,000 years old, but
you know, I'm still getting it together. You know, I was having a lot of fun and running around and maybe not prioritizing certain things in my life. And you know,
are we talking like love life, business?
You know, all around.
Okay.
All around. School. Let's start with school because, you know, I'm pretty smart, but I was never like super motivated to get straight A's in school.
Yeah.
I was too busy having a good time. And I mean, I'm very social. I know everybody. Everybody know me. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that's bad, you know. But I think that when I was finishing college, I went to Buffalo State College, And I'm a social worker. That's where I got my degree in. I'm a BSW. And I think that, the things that I learned in my last year and a half in school were crucial. And taking those social work classes, I feel like that changed my thought process and how I interact with people and things like that. Social work classes in general are amazing, and everybody should take those classes.
Wow. What was it that kind of made you think like, whoa, I never thought about this?
Well, I mean, I think that social work classes explains what we all deal with every day because, it gets a little in depth in terms of the interaction between human beings and why we are the way we are. We all are the way we are for a reason. We went through some stuff. So, love those things. And anyway, I think that last year and a half in college kind of took me from like being a boy to a man to handle things with more care and responsibility.
I like that.
And I'm trying to get better at doing that every day. So.
Yeah, and being a little gentle.
Listen, all I know is brute force and working hard and making it happen, and so especially in this pizzeria, like work smarter, not harder, and like learn more, and because I know I come from 15 hours a day working hard, doing every single thing, and there are ways to work smarter.
Yeah. And also too, like this just dropped in my head. The power of conversation is so vital. My dad was telling me the other day, he was like, what separates you from, or how did he say it? Like, for example, even with meeting you, it was just one conversation away to now, look at this. Like, we're doing this thing. So the power of, I think I'm connecting it with your studies in social working. It's like knowing how to connect with people and knowing how to speak to people, know how to read the room, like that. Those little things can take you so far.
Those are priceless.
Yeah.
Being able to express yourself. That's a gift. That's a God-given gift that like everybody cannot have. You know what I mean? And that's a lot. I think I get that from my mother. You know what I mean? To be able to be eloquent enough to express yourself. Yeah. And that's a priceless gift. So.
Yeah. I'm proud of you.
Yo, listen, thank you.
Last childhood question. How has your upbringing shaped you for better or worse? And you should tap into the worst part too.
I've been through a lot, but a lot of the childhood traumas that I went through was because of me. It was my, like I said, my home life was beautiful. And I ain't had to be outside, but I was outside because I wanted to. My cousin was outside, and so, you go through a lot. Sometimes I don't have any children, but, I think about my friends who do have children, and it's a common question that, do you want your child to be like you? And I think about when I do have kids, do I want my child to be like me? Yes. I think that, I got plenty of flaws, but I think that I have a good base of moving forward and progress and things like that, maybe the way that I am. However, I know what it took for me to get here, and it took a lot. I mean, listen, I done been through a lot of things, and I mean, growing up in the neighborhood, you go through a lot, if it's fist fighting or like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, a car crash or some way, and these are life experiences that I feel like have shaped me. But, what they say, like, you shaped by the stone or something, like, it's like,
like the hard rock with the smooth,
you know what I'm saying? And so I've been through a lot of trauma, I think, like just, crazy neighborhood things. And I think that those things have done me well, but they were also painful. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it's like like as you're saying this, I feel like I'm kind of like experiencing it with you, and it's just like I'm only thinking like, dang, emotionally, like you mentioned the fist fight, so that's physical, and like wounds heal and stuff, but the emotional part of it, and like how things can play back in your mind, and not to project, but like even like with myself, like okay, I might have been through something, and then it's just like emotionally, it's like it can like play in my mind, and it's like I don't know, it's like you're pushing yourself to get past whatever you overcame, but sometimes there's just little remnants of,
Yeah, of course, and those things are blessings though, right? Because, and I mean like, now I'm gonna talk about Angel a lot because he was there for me, and you know, but like he been through a lot of stuff that like I didn't have to go through, but I watched him go through it directly, and so you know, if you can pick up those lessons and learn those lessons, you know, and you know, you're gonna get burned yourself a couple times, and then you're gonna realize that. But like to watch somebody else go through something and be like, I bet I'm not gonna do that, or like you know, you gotta be careful with these people, or do this, or like move carefully, and so it's a lot of that. But like you know, seen it all.
Yeah.
So,
and there's not,
you know.
we don't have to experience every single thing under the sun. Like what the next person's going through and be like, okay, but I'm not gonna, you know, I saw how that worked out. But also too, on the flip side, if let's just say a friend of yours, well, I feel it's a blessing that your dad started the, you know, Pizzeria thing, but it's like, maybe your dad, like if he was watching someone, you know, build their own business and it failed, to not say, oh shoot, that might happen to me, and then not do it. You know what I mean? So
Right, yeah, and you know, interacting with people and who do you do business with and don't, and every opportunity might not be the best opportunity. So
whoa, that's a big one.
well, right, you know, just because you're invited to sit at the table, maybe you don't want to sit with those people. Maybe that's not because it sounds good, and like if it sounds too good to be true, yeah. So
I think that could be tough for someone not wanting or to gracefully bow out to be invited to sit at a table when you really need, you know, that push forward. It's a lot. And then also to having the faith and belief in yourself, like, no, there's going to be a next blessing for me.
right, how do you pass up that meeting?
That
If you really need that at that moment.
Yeah.
I've been in some situations that seemed fantastic at first, and then lo and behold, like, wow, shouldn't have done that.
Oof.
But you learn the hard way. But those are life lessons, and you take
Yeah.
those with you and put them in your pocket. You'll be all right. You know, so.
All right, moving on to 100% necessary. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. All right, so 100% necessary. So this section is like, let me know what your absolute need is. So 2 characteristics you feel you needed to handle the journey of being an entrepreneur. Like absolutely necessary, you needed these 2 characteristics.
To handle the journey of being an entrepreneur. I think that having the drive to show up every day. I have a extreme like a lifeline of energy that you know I've been given, and it's a major blessing because I'm a beast. I don't get tired.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
my wife be like, "Ain't you tired?" And I always look at her like, "No," and she know I'm tired. But like, yo, my drive is strong, and I got goals, and I've seen people do amazing things, and I want that too.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid of hard work. So, and I mean, like that kind of like leads into the next thing that, you know, my father had a business when I was 7 years old. And so I'm there, you know,
That's
and I'm
such a
trying to help
blessing.
out. Yeah, big time. Cause you see somebody, but like, yo, my pops had that deli, and, you know, Saturday night we close at 1 o'clock in the morning. Sunday we got to be there at 6 a.m. to put the papers together, because they drop off the papers, and you know, Sunday paper in New York is a big deal. They knocking on your door like 6 o'clock, like, yo, y'all open yet? Like, sir, we're not open yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you need to get there early, put the papers together, and then make the coffee, because you got the old folks, they coming in the morning.
Yeah.
Yo, we were sleeping in the deli. Because we're gonna go home, it's 1 o'clock, it's 1:30, you had a late night or something like that. Like, all right, bet we sleeping in that deli on the floor. Like, man, we get up in the morning, do the paperwork, and then you go home the next day, 5 o'clock. So like that kind of hard work, and then also like, you know, cleaning the floor, cleaning corners, you know what I'm saying? Like cleaning underneath things, and like, you know, I had to prove myself to the workers, to everybody that was there with us, because oh, you Tommy's son, like you ain't got to work hard. And I ain't want nobody saying that about me, so I made sure that, you know, I went hard.
Yeah.
And so all of those things, kind of like those, extremely hard work. And somebody said something to me a long time ago, like, you know what? Don't give anybody anything bad to say about you. Do the right thing even when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
That's something that stayed with me forever. So.
Man, this is so good. I can feel like the richness of like your journey. I'm really glad this is happening. 2 pieces of advice that were necessary for your growth.
Accept help. you know, when somebody's willing to give it to you.
It's great. I was just saying that to Euro, setting up everything.
Yeah,
Here, wow.
accept people's help.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, you know, you got to weed through it a little bit. You know, some people you don't want their help because they might want something from you or whatever. And you know, like, I try not to think of. I'm a, you know.
But it's chess. I'm not gonna lie. It's chess sometimes.
You got to be able to read the situation.
Yeah.
So accept people's help because we can't do it all. And then, I mean, I think that, like, I've been alive long enough, just keep going. Because these are steps to get to where you're going. And I done been down and out, I've been under. And I had jobs that, you know, it's not my ideal job.
So can you speak on that?
But,
so when you had the non-ideal job, how did you, I guess, motivate yourself to get through it?
I'm extremely blessed. I'm able to find the joy in everyday tasks. So I've worked in many pizzerias. I've worked in delis. I've worked cashier, Whole Foods, 59th Street. Like, you know, and these are little things, but like, I may not have loved that job, but, you know, I collect people. And so you meet people and you find these people and, you know, you share moments with people. And so those things are very valuable to me. And so I focus on things like that and realize that these are all, you know, portions of what you're going through and like take these little moments. You're not going to get it back. Enjoy it. Things like that. But I've had many, many jobs in my lifetime. And I think that all of those things.
Sorry, say it again.
No, I'm just thinking about my guys get up here getting started.
Work is being done. You see, this is real life.
Collecting all of these moments in life. And so if you observe, like, even the menial jobs or things like that, that's not your favorite job, but understand that these are pieces to your puzzle. So.
Yeah. And I feel it must be rewarding and very fulfilling once you pass that. I mean, like, get over to where you want to be. Even if it, like, honestly, too, if you're not in the ideal situation, you level up and get out of it, but the next situation isn't the best thing. I failed to believe that there wasn't something in that current situation to help you get over, you know?
You learn something.
Yeah.
Whether you
I like that. You learn something.
Whether you could decipher that or not.
Yeah.
You learn something.
Yeah.
And it'll come to you later.
That,
But also, like, you know, like I said, I collect people, you know? I like, before 2.5 years ago, you know, I was working in a restaurant in Norwalk, Connecticut, because when I came back from my first LA adventure and I went home, my parents now live in Norwalk, Connecticut. They moved from the city up to Connecticut, bought a house. So that was home base. So I was working in a restaurant, the local restaurant, the BJ Ryan's Bank House, and I was serving tables over there. And then my second job, one of our customers, TJ, has a landscaping company. And so I was serving tables in the nighttime, and then during the morning from like 7 to 4 p.m., I was, you know, shoveling dirt.
Wow. And you don't ever get tired, so
well,
you're good.
The way it's about how you frame it, right? You know,
True.
I was excited. I get paid to work out. You want me to shovel this dirt over there? Like, no problem.
Wow.
Sure. You know what I mean? And so it was cool. It was about how you frame things. But, you know.
Were you ever at that time concerned about image? Like, oh, this looks like.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I hold. You know, that kind of like blue collar, you know, or all of that stuff, I hold those people in the highest regard. I think, you know what I mean? Like, because it's a grind and everybody might not respect you, but the respect between blue collar people,
Yeah.
Because you know what it takes.
Yeah.
And you know that, like, you know, might not be running this shit, but you come in here every day. You get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to be at work at 6 or 7. You want to have a cup of coffee, you got to get up earlier. And then you do this hard ass job. And you're thankful for it, and you provide for your entire family. You know, like, the whole Mexican struggle thing is crazy. You know what I mean? And it's a privilege to work with all these guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody I worked with on that crew, at that time for the landscaping crew, they was all from, like, Guatemala and Mexico, and, like, they're happy doing this wonderful, hard-ass job. So, you know, it was a beautiful time. So even though, like, hard work, for sure.
Yeah.
It's hot out there, you're sweating.
Yeah.
But, like, we had a great time. And the
And-
camaraderie is like amazing. So
Yeah, it reminds me of the saying that I had to remind myself the other day of, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And like what you said, finding joy, and you can connect with people. So, okay, yeah, this work may be a little, but the people, the conversations, the
wonderful.
memories, you know?
Yeah,
all
you
that.
know, and like that beer you have after a long day, it's like the best beer I ever had.
Yeah.
Is worth more. So
Rich experiences.
yeah, it's been amazing.
2 daily practices, personal or business, that help make you have a good day.
So 2 daily practices. I mean, I work out. I try to work out every day.
When do you do that? Because like you have to be here at the shop early, or
Yeah, I mean, I keep weights everywhere.
oh,
I got weights here.
Got you. I like that.
I got
Okay,
weights
okay.
here. I ride around with a weight in my trunk. If I can make it to the gym, that's wonderful. You know, when I can go in the morning, that's, you know, great. But that's complicated also. You know, 7 a.m. gym session would be great. But like, it's hard to do that. So like, you know, we do pull-ups right here, and we got
This is such a dope spot. Like, this is I think this is the first episode that I've done outside of a studio, and it feels so like
feels
vibey.
right. It feels
Yeah,
right,
even
huh?
just with me sitting on the opposite side, it's like, okay, I gotta like learn on the job. What I like, what you said a while ago with you keeping weights everywhere, is that I want to make sure I say this right, is that you make your environment adapt to what you want to get done. And it's not so much so like, oh, I need to be at a certain location. Like I need to be at a gym to get done what I want to get done. It's like, no, make it happen.
Yeah,
make it work.
Yeah, you got, you know, it's your time. It's always going to be a little crazy. So, you know, and sticking to a very strict schedule. Life happens. So like, how, you know, but don't give yourself no excuses. You know, I've been on my workout journey for like really going hard for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Before that, like, a little bit, but nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like about 3 years ago, I really started going hard, and I realized that like, I can't make it to the gym. Ain't none of that. Push-ups,
Make
handle.
it work.
You know what I mean? And so now I realize when I first came out here from New York, I just started buying weights. You know, buying dumbbells and put them in the car, and I'm riding around. Make sure you got them with you. So there's no excuses.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's one. And then I think that I'm a writer. You know what I'm saying? I keep journals, and so like,
Okay, introspective.
yeah. Listen.
When did that start?
So my mother kept journals.
Okay.
And I got a memory that stays with me, that she found one of her journals when we was younger in the house. And, you know, she opened her journal, she reading through it, and she like read it out loud to us or whatever. And it was, you know, not like an epic day. Oh my God. The journal entry said something like, you know, we made those little sandwiches with the kids for Valentine's Day. I spoke to my sister and something, and I spoke to mommy or something like that. But it made her smile, and she like was able to relive that day in that moment. And I remember how it made her feel.
Oh, okay.
And so like, you know, I didn't even start writing until years later.
Yeah.
But now I got a
Remember
stack
that.
of journals like
I love
this.
that.
And I do that because life is hard.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like beautiful moments that sometimes go forgotten, fall in between the cracks. And to be honest, like every day where something tragic don't happen is a beautiful day. You know what I mean? So like, you know, remember those days. And so I just try to document as much as I could. So if I could work out and I could write in my book, that's a wonderful day.
Yeah,
You know?
I love that. And I love the simplicity, because I feel like I think in a lot of first world countries, the emphasis on, you know, the good life is like luxury, or what they define as luxury. And it's just like, actually, the simple things can even mean so much more.
Right, yeah. I mean, I think that part of our society is how much you got, you know, of all these things. But, you know, if you can be happy with waking up and being able to eat good and being around your family and things like that, and even, right, the more money you get, it's like this strange, like, circular thing, right? You want it so bad. You want it so bad. And then you get to that level and you realize, like, oh, I had everything. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, money can ruin some people sometimes, too. And so you go through this funny thing, and then you come back around and, like, nah, I'm done with, you know, possessions
Yeah,
and things
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's like,
It's a-
you
it
learn
is
it, but
a-
you're getting smarter.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
and you realize that like life was so simple and I had everything and it was so beautiful.
The simplicity.
Whatever. You know, to be able to be happy with those things too.
Yeah. This is enriching my soul. I hope it's doing it for you too.
I'm having a great time.
Moving on to work and lifestyle. So this is like, to me, like, I feel like it's getting from juicier, juiciest. So what did that process look like relocating from Harlem to LA as far as like the property hunting for this spot, getting the artwork on the place, employing people?
Well, so I had been in LA my first time around 2015.
Oh, no, wow, me too. Uh-huh.
And that was the first time I left New York. I had followed my ex out here. And She was from the Bronx, and she was like, "I'm going to California." And you know, I followed her a couple years later, and we picked up a relationship, and that was like 2015. And so we had a good run. I worked for many pizzerias in LA, but I didn't really find a career.
Okay.
I'm really good at making pizzas. So I was like, yo, so I need this much. And they were like, chill, buddy. Like, we're not giving you that. And I was like, okay, but I can, you know, I can manage. I can do this. I can do that. They're like, yeah, we're not looking for that. And so, I would like go until I, as far as I could with that place. And then I'd be like, listen, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
And then, I had a lot of wonderful opportunities and things like that, but nothing that was going to put me in the financial place I needed to be.
Yes.
So 2019, I decided to go back east and go back to grad school and get my master's in social work. And so that was the plan, but then it was the pandemic. And I'm
Oh, shoot.
So I'm an in-person learner. I'm not
Yeah,
going to play
yeah,
myself
yeah.
and act like I'm going to go
Know thyself.
online
I love it.
college.
Yeah.
Chill. Like, I'm
Yeah.
already knowing. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going to class now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So at that point, I worked in a restaurant and I worked in the landscaping, and I was like, just kind of figuring it out. And then 2021, I got a phone call from LA to come back from my homeboy Zen, and he said, I came across this opportunity and it got you written all over it, and it was this place. And so this place used to be called Juicy Pizza, and it was a project put on by Jam Master Jay daughter, and so she was gonna open this spot.
Yeah.
And the conversation led to like, come and be the guy over here, and they offered me, a good contract or whatever. It was short lived. They couldn't really make it happen. So we were here for like 3 months together. So I moved from New York to come out here, take the gig, and then my job evaporated in 3 months.
Freaking hell. So that I felt like was like the breadcrumb for you to come out.
Well, I realized, I was disappointed, to say the least, when it didn't work out.
Yeah.
This was like my second chance in LA, and I get to, do this and be around these, and they're wonderful people, and they had an awesome concept here in this space, beautiful on La Brea.
Yeah.
And
It's
I mean,
a beautiful
I can't
location.
even take credit for this subway train. Like, they built this. They was from Brooklyn, and it was the L train, and they couldn't make the restaurant work. They moved on after 3 months.
Wow.
So I was here just kind of left holding the key, like, oh, so we ain't doing this no more? Like, and so they bounced. And then I met my new financial partners from Presidential, and we struck a new deal, and then they helped me take over the pizzeria.
So business-wise, was your name on the contract like it's now your responsibility?
So now it's a joint venture.
Okay.
You know what I'm
but
saying?
when they left and
So
you were
with them, they had contracted me to run the pizza program here.
Okay.
So I was the head chef.
Okay.
And they was handling everything else. And I mean, I tried to give advice as best I could, but it is what it is. They wanted to go a certain direction.
Yeah.
And then it didn't really pan out for whatever reason. I can't
Yeah.
really speak on that
Yeah,
with
yeah,
any
yeah.
real knowledge of what
Yeah.
happened. But like, it just kind of fell apart. So when they bounced, I met, Everett from Presidential, and he's been awesome. And we kind of fell into this. So it wasn't like, got this business plan.
Right.
We got this
Nothing
budget.
wasn't.
Let's go. And
Yeah.
this is the plan. It was
Yeah.
like, he came to me and said, like, listen, I already made an investment here. I don't want a pizzeria, but you do. And so he put it in my hands, like, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'll bring you on. Let's be partners. Let's, I see what you do. He had been around me enough, and he seen, if I do anything, I make pizza. I'm good. And I love that, and I'm good with people. And so, like, it was, an opportunity.
Yeah.
And And so that's how Esco's Pizza came to be. I didn't name this place Esco's Pizza. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that team of people in the changing of hands in this train right here.
Wow.
You know, one day we had a staff meeting. I do what I usually do for staff meetings. I made some food, and I happened to have a bottle of wine that I was carrying around that was a gift from a friend. I said, yo, I'm gonna pour the bottle of wine. And so I poured some glasses, and we right here. And they're like, yo, well, we settled on the name change because we had to change the name from the first place.
Yeah.
And whatever. And I was like, oh, damn, you had a meeting without me. I had a whole name change meeting and all that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
no problem, it's fine.
Yeah.
And they must have seen the look on my faces. They said, don't worry, Esco, you're going to like the name. And then we're like, oh, we got wine too? Let's cheers to the name. Everybody look at me talking about like, let's Esco's Pizza.
Wow.
And I was like, man, y'all play too much, you know? And they were like, yo, we serious, bro.
Oh
like,
my!
you've
How
been
does
through
it feel to have your name out in the street like that?
It's surreal.
That is crazy.
Nah, it's surreal.
When
Listen,
you think about
after
it.
that meeting and they said that, I didn't tell nobody.
Wow.
Like, I didn't say nothing until they were asking me for the sketch. Like, yo, so we want you to draw it. I was like, what? They were like, well, you write graffiti, right? I was like, I mean, yeah, but, you know. And whatever. I asked my homegirl to do it, and she did it for me, Sabrina. She was one of the first people that helped me open this spot. And, you know, she got hands, and she drew my first logo for me, this joint right here.
Nice.
And, I mean, like, but it's surreal, though. Like, to be honest, it's still...
It's a dream.
When everybody leave at night, I sit right over there, and I'm not sure what's going on, but it's beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, and like it's happening to me. It's not really like me doing this. Like, yes,
that
but
is
it's
such
happening
a beautiful
to me.
space.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's been wonderful.
Wow, that reminds me how magical life can be. And I don't know if this is related to what I'm saying, but I read last night on Pinterest. Someone was like, this is what I wish I had known 10 years ago. And one of the things that they said was always be in momentum. Like, obviously take time to be still and stuff, but just with your story of like, you were here for 4 years, went back, and then it's like you came back and like all this movement, you know what I mean?
I'm taking swings, you know, just keep trying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm extremely grateful for all of these steps along the way. What don't work, learn from it, keep moving, but you know, don't give up, because you know, like that, it's just around the corner. You just got to keep going. And, you know what I'm saying? You about to get there. Just if you keep that, you know. And I mean, you could be grinding for years and be like, oh, I'm about to. Hey, yo, listen, it might be next month. So you know, but it's been amazing. But yeah, all of those things kind of happen for me, and it's a dream.
And it's still happening. I'm really happy that this happened to you, because I feel like my personal experiences as far as, so I'm a songwriter and artist, but I like to say songwriter. But I just feel, obviously I'm still living, I'm still, you know, maneuvering and stuff like that. And sometimes I would be like, man, it wasn't as fulfilling, or it didn't happen as yet. But me stumbling into podcasting, I'm like, this is what I really
is wonderful,
like.
I think.
This is what I love. And it being able to hear other people's stories, I sprinkle mine in, helping many people. It's like, maybe this is helping more people than my songwriting would have, you know?
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And I mean, this is a platform. You're giving me a platform to tell a little bit of my story. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
What were some life changes you had to make to ensure that you're operating at your best boss level in the midst of bossing up? So I was thinking, like when I first met you, I was like, man, I wonder like what your lifestyle is like or is not like, because you are the head here. Like, are you not able to be out super late because you have to be here super early?
Well, so I just celebrated my 2-year anniversary here. And, you know, for the first year, it was totally intense. And I'm talking about, you live it, you breathe it. I slept here for 6 months.
Wow.
You know, so when I first came from New York, I was renting a room from like my uncle, basically. And, but that was in South Pasadena.
Okay.
And so Shout to Ricky for holding me down. He let me live in his crib for $500 a month.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? So I was basically living for free. But, you know, I would start here. If I want to have a cup of coffee in the morning and, like, think about my day before I get to it, you got to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know. The ovens are temperamental. You got to make sure the ovens are on and things are okay. And then, you know, you guys start showing up. And before you know it, you getting swept up in it. So if you want some time for yourself, it's early in the morning, 8 o'clock. So, and then by the time you close, say you close at 10, if you guys are done and clean by 11 o'clock, that's a good day. So plan on not, that doesn't happen that often, you know, and to clean thoroughly. This place is so big, you could clean for hours. So I noticed
it when I came in here.
Yo, it's huge.
Oh, and I'm a germaphobe, so I was just like, wow, this is really nice.
You know, and you know, I clean it like it's my crib, it's my house. You know what I mean? So, but by the time I be done, it'd be 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
So I'm not really trying to drive 35 minutes over there just to get up at 5 and come back.
Kind of with your dad when you said the papers
you
and
know,
stuff.
And this was much nicer than that little small room I was living in. We got 85-inch screen all over the place. We chilling and like, you know, eat some pizza at 12 o'clock, like have a beer. It was great. So, you know, I would stay here. And I would go back to the crib like 2 or 3 times out of the week, you know, and you know, I built a life here, you know.
Wow.
And so, but life changed for me. I just got married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been married. We just celebrated our 1-year wedding anniversary in December. So like, and so I had just met my wife when, so we've been married for a year, and I probably know her for like 2.5. But we hit it off, and it was like, when this first thing didn't work out, I had gone back for New Year's in New York, and then we like had mutual friends, and so we hit it off one night, and everybody noticed, you know, and I was like, yo, but I'm leaving back to California for the second leg of this thing to start again as Esco's. And she said, yeah, I know. And, you know, she came to see me a week later. And so after that, it was like every month she'd come out here. But I was still roughing it, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get the business off the ground. So I'm living here and living in a little, you know, 1-bedroom, and but roughing it, though. You know, I don't sleep a lot. I don't, you know, I sleep 5 hours. I'm like a 5-hour kind of person. And so my life changed because we got married. But then she didn't come and live out here until, like, we got married in December. She didn't come out here until March.
Wow.
But like now I got to get the spot together. You know, we got to get a nice place. And, you know, I got to figure those things out. And so like I went from like real kind of roughing it the first year, and that was all right because, you know, I'm getting this thing off. And, you know, comfort is not like, oh, you know, whatever. But now, you know, I'm married and I got a family. So it's like, all right, bet. And so things changed from like, it's not just about me anymore. And to be honest, it cannot just be about the business. I gave it everything all day, all night, you know, and, you know, when you're sleeping, you're dreaming about it. So like, and then, so now my focus has changed to, I have to divide my day to give, you know, love and time to my wife. So,
you're being stretched.
That was a big, you know, change for me, but also like, yo, what you give to that, you get back tenfold. You know, she take care of me, and I'm like living differently. You know what I'm saying? And I'm eating well. Like,
shout out to wifey.
Yeah, big time, big time. And you know, and I couldn't function as well as I do now without that.
The beauty in having a solid partner, someone who understands you, someone who's there to help you instead of pull you back or be selfish. Because that's just like, because. I don't want to forget my question. When you said you were roughing it out, I think you said for 6 months?
Yeah, about that, you know what I'm saying?
Did it ever feel super consuming where it's like, this thing is like taking over me and I don't know you don't know who you are, but it's like, wait, what about me though? Like I'm building the business, but what about me?
I was still just very much in awe.
Okay.
So like that was an overwhelming feeling. Like I couldn't believe it. You know, it still don't feel real. This is amazing. And like, for the first time in my life, like I have been like, you know, you kind of like go so hard to make things happen. And then all of a sudden the wind was at my back. people are helping me, people are interested in me, people giving me opportunities, and like I'm no fool. Like you give me an opportunity, I'm in there. I'm there when I ain't got no opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm knocking at the door, so I'm gonna try. And then all of these things just started happening to me.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going, like so even the hardest days, I was still very amazed and in awe and happy. So
that gratitude. What's a couple standout hard boss lessons that you learned on the job?
I'm a very friendly person. And sometimes now, when you run a crew of guys, and I come from a different kind of background though, like you're saying, my father is also a very kind man. And he ran his, so after the deli, he had a pizzeria, and that's where I learned all these things.
Okay.
And so he had the pizzeria for like 12 or 13 years, something like that. And it was a very family-oriented spot.
Yeah.
It was me, my father, Rigo, Mario. Rigo and Mario was brothers. And then, Jeremy and Johnny, and they were cousins. And so we all worked 12-hour shifts every single day.
Yeah.
And you spend more
I forgot
time
to drink.
with
I'm
each
so
other.
sorry.
I'm about to have
Yeah.
this. I just finished my
I'm
coffee.
so into the story.
I've been sipping on this last little sip of coffee. But you spend more time with each other, than your family. And so, like, I come from that. And so now to run a crew of guys that everybody not full time. So you face different challenges. And it's hard to be everybody's friend.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? And it's my nature. But I need to curb that. Because it's very difficult to give strong direction and expect the same response if we friends now.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a natural progression.
I know exactly what you mean,
change.
yeah.
So like, I try to learn to curb my friendliness and things like that. And I'm not good at it. I'm very friendly, so it's tough.
Yeah.
I think that's a big lesson that I learned and I'm learning right now in terms of being too friendly to the people you work with because the lines get blurred.
Yeah, that, and it's just like, I don't get it twisted.
Well, you know what I'm saying?
Or how do you say don't get it twisted? It's just like, dang, not saying anyone's a monster, but it's like, what monster or dynamic did I just create now?
Well, right. It's a little bit, there are aspects of that. And I mean, I show, I kind of teach by example, all of my guys have seen me get down on the floor, hands and knees, and scrub this thing over here because that's how I need you to do it. So I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
And I don't want. And I've been around people in my lifetime that like, everybody don't, lead like that. However, I would never ask you to do anything that I haven't already done 100 times. Like this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and things got to get clean. And so anyway, and I mean, it's I don't. And that, I got a good story about that, but like that's when you ask somebody to do something that they might not love to do, you got to realize there's a lesson in it. So,
bam, back in this. Alrighty, what does your day-to-day look like as a boss? Very hands-on, or you pop in every other day? And do you have a personal life?
My day-to-day, I start early, I end late.
What times are those?
I mean, if I had it my way every day, I'd be up at 6 a.m.
Ooh, okay.
That don't always happen because my wife be like, "Are you crazy?"
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Like you need to sleep a little.
Yeah,
okay.
you gotta relax. But my mind be going.
Yeah.
So I mean, I try to get up between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning every single day, and then this is a lot of moving parts in this thing.
Yeah.
And if you want it to go smoothly, you better be on top of it.
Oof.
And even if you're on top of it, everything ain't gonna go smoothly. So you gotta be ready to deal with those issues and things like that.
So how do you, with that, because like you said a lot there a while ago, there's a lot of moving parts. Do you ever feel like a little anxious?
Yes.
Okay.
My anxiety.
Because I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, and it's just like, I'm good with like, okay, be calm and, figure it out and whatever. But it's just like
I think that one of my best skills is managing my anxiety because, and you can frame that however you want. I'm concerned with things, and I want to
Yeah.
be, I want to make sure things. Oh, that's anxiety, my friend.
Yeah.
And so you frame it right. I care. I want to make sure things are, and not just good for me. I want to make sure my guys die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is wonderful, but you should love this. And if you don't love this, talk to me. Let's figure it out. Because everything, you're not gonna feel great all day, every single day. But you got control to make things better.
Yes.
And so, my days look like I get up and have some coffee with my wife, and whether we come, she work here with me.
Okay. That helps a little, right? Or how does that work? I mean,
it's
the
great.
dynamic. Okay.
No, it's great.
Okay.
It's great. Women have a different attention to detail than men, I think. And I need that, and it's extremely valuable.
Those eyes.
In this thing, you know what I'm saying? She'd be like, yo, you ain't clean that over there. That shit looking funky over there. You have to pass it. I'm like, well, I'm doing the broad strokes over here. Yeah. I got you. Don't worry about it, because you're looking at it with a different set of eyes, But whether we come here together or she comes here later, she'll be here in a little bit, but I've been here since the morning, and usually that's how I like to come in here. I like to come in here with a little bit of time for myself to be able to have a cup of coffee and write and make some plans. And I'm thinking about 40,000 things. I got a party at 5 o'clock today. I got to go buy some broccolini for this lady. That's what she was. Sure, you got it.
Yeah.
But ain't nobody gonna do that. So I got to figure out these things. Anyway, but yeah, I'm here very early in the morning. And then, now I have a real crew of guys. George is setting up right now. And
hey, George.
Good morning, Georgie. And then my wife will be here, and Imari's going to be. So, managing all these people. And it's a team. So I don't have to do every single thing anymore. But, we got to make a list, and we got to make sure things get done. Yeah. And you got to prepare. So that's a lot of it. And then, now I have a crew of people, so I don't have to be here until midnight every single night, And so I try to take myself out of here, because if you're in tunnel vision, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. So, you need to step back. And I'm learning that, but I'm also at the point where now I can do that.
Yeah.
And I do have a home life and a social life, and I try to spend time with them, and so it's me, my wife, and my daughter. My daughter's 18. It's my wife.
You really look young. I'm not lying.
It's my wife's daughter, but you know what I'm saying? That's my daughter now.
Yeah.
And so we go to the beach a lot.
Nice.
And we go run around. And I love California. And part of what I love about it is the ability to go to the beach and the peace that gives you.
Yes.
We spend a lot of time at the beach.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get around, run around LA a little bit, And that's my home life right now.
Yeah.
Other things that I enjoy to do. I write graffiti, and I'm part of TGL, which is a LA-based graffiti group.
Okay.
And now it's a little bit harder because I got other stuff going on in my life. But that was my outlet to to paint with the guys, and they show me LA, and they teaching me, and they taking me around, and to be able to paint for a couple hours with this group of amazing people. Yeah, that was what I did a lot of before I ended up getting married. And so now I paint when I can, but it's been a few months.
The power of community.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And what is one gem you would give to people management, managing people? Because I know you said earlier, be who you are, be nice, but learn how to, not create.
You don't know it all, right? And so I think that learning new techniques and studying, and always be learning. Learn how to manage some people. And research and find some new ways and things like that. I think that building rapport with your staff is extremely important. Now it's I'm a pleaser. I do things for people. Yeah. Whatever it is. I put on coffee for everybody in the morning. It might be a small thing, but it's a big thing to me.
Yeah.
And so, things like that. But it's a fine line. Try not to blur that line, but be kind to people. Yeah. And I think that if you're going to manage, lead by example. I work for some guys that, they could tell you what to do, but if I ain't seen you do it, it doesn't really mean as much to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's do it for them. Yeah. Show them how you want it, and then do it again.
Oh, that part, like don't just
do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just so they can see you do it, so they don't feel like, man, I'm in this shit by myself. I gotta do this shit every single day. Like, yo, let's switch today. I'm gonna wash the dishes today. Yeah. I'm gonna clean the floor today. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. So don't support your people. Make sure they don't feel like they just doing this. Oh, and this is it. Because that look of like, man, it's the boss. He don't really do nothing. Yo, that's it. I worked in a lot of places, and a lot of people don't like the boss because they don't do nothing or whatever. Yo, you don't know what that man had to go through to get in the position where he at. He did this 10,000 times. Yeah. Whatever. Keep it fresh in their minds. Let them know that you can do it.
That part.
And I need your help, but. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm also giving this to you, but it's a mutual relationship, right? Like, so.
Because I think about the boss who had to do all that to get to where he is now. And then that boss feeling like, okay, I've graduated from that and I don't want to do that anymore because I've had to do it so many times. But then remembering, but this is the first time that, employee is, I don't know, like it's his first time seeing you do it. So to him, you only did it one time.
Yeah, I rarely wash the dishes here. I feel like I've washed enough dishes in my entire life. So I don't really like washing the dishes here. But I'm not against it. And if I need to, I will jump in there. Yeah. But I've also, if we were talking about the dishes that I've washed, we wouldn't fit in this room. Okay, I'd wash this forever. When everybody's starting a restaurant, that's your first job. Nobody likes doing that. And then it's like, frame it differently. It's like meditation. Like, let me put my AirPods on. Let me wash all these things. Let me think about whatever. Like, do what you got to do.
Make it work.
But, every now and then, pitch in and help it because it's a tough task. And it's a very important task. You know? How well are you cleaning those dishes? Are you cleaning them well? Are you filling up the sanitizer? It's a lot of things in there.
Moving parts.
Yeah. So, but.
2 benefits of being an entrepreneur.
You're gonna be learning lessons every single day, and it kind of takes you out of that monotonous schedule of punching the clock for somebody else. It's a beautiful hard lesson, but then I think also the ability to say that, like, I'm working on something that's my dream. You know? So many of us do jobs for other people, and you're helping them with their dream. And I say this to my guys sometimes too, like, you might not be ecstatic about this job, but you're helping me with my dream, and I really do love this, and I appreciate you helping me with this because this is my dream. Yeah. So I'm in such a blessed, beautiful moment in my life that I get to do what I love to do every day. I love making pizza, and I love feeding people. I get to do whenever I'm complaining, or I think like, man, it's been so hard. Like this is like, and I'm like, yo, check yourself. Yeah. Because, shout out to TJ. I love shoveling dirt, and that was great. But like, yo, that was not like my favorite job. I get to make pizza every single day in here, and I get to talk to people. Yeah. And I get to practice my social work over the counter while I'm feeding somebody. Yo, all of and then I could come in this train and write on this wall if I want to, because this is my graffiti. So I get all of my love under one roof. Yeah. It's a beautiful time in my life. So
this is so freaking like full circle.
on the hard days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My friends that I know for years walk through that door like, Esco, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. You know, like, come in here. Like, we get to sit and eat together. And, yo, priceless.
Wow.
Priceless, big time.
There was a question that I had, and I was like, dang it. It came. Hopefully it comes back. Moving on to essence. We're almost done. What do you love most about yourself?
I don't know, my determination maybe, you know, or my ability to love others,
Yeah.
you know, and those are things I just got over the years, you know.
Your charisma is good too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm very excited about life and people, and, you know, I know it could be over in a flash.
Oh my gosh.
So enjoy it. You
Yeah.
know? And but I love that about myself, that I can connect with anybody and strangers. And I mean, that's just something that you get from, like, I've been on the other side of the counter forever.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you know, I was always the new kid. I got kicked out of a bunch of schools. I always was, you know, introduce yourself to the class, and I'd be like, hey, how you doing? How I am, you know, and, like, you know, I've been put on the spot a lot.
And with that, do you feel like in patois, it's like, yo, we're ever ready? Like, do you feel that way, that you can't, like, someone can catch you off guard, but it's just like, okay, cool, what we saying?
What
like,
we doing?
You know?
Yeah, what we doing? And I mean, all these things are tied together, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I got tried a lot as a kid. You know what I'm saying? I was the only white kid on my block. You know what I'm saying? My pops is Mexican, my mom's is white. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even look a little bit Spanish until I was like 15.
Wow.
So, like, everybody was like, who is this white boy?
Oh.
And so, like, you know, when you come up with that and everybody putting you on the spot, I've been putting, and then, you know, in the business, like, you know, you on the spot right now. Everybody want to talk to you, or like, what? And you got to figure out how to talk right now.
Yeah.
There is no, and so all of those things, like,
Yeah.
have led to the way that I am now, and I can speak well. I can address the situation. We can kind of, like, you know what I'm saying? But huge blessings in my life. So that's being able to communicate with people, interact with anybody.
You do a really good balancing act of kind of like when we were going back to when you said that the childhood, showing respect, but also demanding respect. I think it's a beautiful balancing act when you can be vulnerable, but you know, don't cross me. And that is amazing.
I tell you what, like, when I was a kid and I kept getting tried, right? You know, I spent time looking in the mirror, and you learn how to, you know, I'm very smiley and friendly right now. You know,
Yeah.
That's just kind of how I am on a daily basis. It's a blessing in my life. It wasn't always like that. You got to learn how to give somebody to face that. You're not playing.
Yeah.
Either. You know what I'm saying? And I spent time working on it, because, like, when you lose that, like, childhood innocence, and, like, you know, first time you get punched in your mouth,
Shoot.
you realize, like, oh, everybody's not very nice.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so you got to figure out how to let people, because, you know, I looked very soft for a while when I was a kid. So you got to work on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now I got scars on my face that make you feel like, oh, I've been through some shit.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
don't
But, like,
mess with me. Yeah.
And before that, you got to work on your demeanor and work on your presence. And you got to figure that out. You find it in the mirror, though. You know, because you got to see how people perceive you. And why do I keep getting tried? Like, over here, like, why you keep trying me? I look soft or something like that. You got to figure it out. So
That's a big bomb drop right there. Like, I don't know why it just hit, but it's just like, that's true. Asking yourself why, and with anything, why does this thing keep happening to me? What am I helping this person think? Like, oh yeah, you could run over me, or yeah, you could talk to me any kind of way. Are you freaking insane? I feel like I'm getting, like, I feel like it's happening to me now, where it's like, oh, someone tried you. Why would you think that you could try me?
Hey, yo, listen, you know, young men and women in New York City have a very serious demeanor and face. And, you know, you call it the dead face, right? You, and you turn off that light in your face because you want to and because this is just, it happens to come, you know, growing up in New York City, it's a tough place to be. And so everybody going to try to take advantage of you, and, like, you got to let people know. And so, like, you know, many people from New York City, they, you know, and these are chapters in life. You know, I've kind of grown out of that chapter, and I've been now, like, around so much love in my life that, like, I smile all day, every day, and it's differently. But, like, when you're a certain age in New York City, you ain't smiling that much unless you're with your real group right here.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's something that happens from city living. You know what I'm saying? You'll see young kids and, like, why you got that serious ass face? Because, yo, you got to let people know you're not playing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just part of growing up. So, you know, but I'm so thrilled now that don't have to be my life every single day. But
Because I feel like that could wear on somebody.
Well, of
after
course,
a while,
when everybody don't make it out, you know. And once you get out, once I got out, I realized. But, like, I had a great home life, so I lived that double life. You know what I mean? But, like, once you see other things in life, you realize it doesn't have to be so hard. You ain't got to keep that stone face on all the time.
Yeah,
like, you know, you gotta, and then let people in. you know, and then you got to learn how to smile at people, you know, and it's a skill. And
I'm telling you,
got to be open to it. You got to learn.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Oh, when have you had to be the most patient with yourself?
I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes in my life. I put my family through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the youngest of 3. My sisters, wonderful human beings, and always went the right route. I got in a lot of trouble coming up. You know what I'm saying? I caused my family a lot of grief. I've had to forgive myself. Yeah. You know, and it's easier said than done. You know, I got a lot of pain for all the things I did to my family, all the times. I mean, you know, you put your people who love you through a lot, you know, and, you know, being part of a different life and being outside and growing up in the neighborhood, and I loved it, and it loved me back, or I thought so for a little while, and, you know, and so those things are difficult, and it shape you, and it gives you, you know, gems, but you got to decipher that, and then you making your people suffer. You know, people don't like to see you get jammed up. People don't like to see you bleed. Like, you know, it's tough. So, but I mean, I think that, like, you know, I'm hard on myself, or like, you know, but at the end of the day, like, yo, you gotta forgive yourself too, and you gotta, you know, realize it's okay. And I mean, I love being around my family. I'm very different from my family.
Okay. How are they versus,
they don't talk like I talk.
Oh, really?
No.
Wait, how are they like?
I mean, they, you know, like, I talk crazy, and I didn't realize that, like, I sound crazy the way I talk until I came out here. And people were like, what? Oh. You're like, oh, your accent mad thick. I'm like, I got an accent? I don't know. I just, you know, but, you know, and I can turn it on and speak very properly and eloquently when I need to, but it's not my normal way of talking.
You just want to be like,
well, I just, you know, like that's, but, you know, my sisters and my mother and my father speak very properly and eloquently, and you can hear everything that they say, and they don't have a strong accent like I you know. So, there's that, but.
You know, it's funny. Also, too, when we first met, you remind me of someone that, like, in my past, and I was just like, I'm so glad that I've had a lot of different experiences with people, because back to the whole people connecting, it's like if I was only used to, I don't know, only Jamaican people, or only people who speak like me, or people who only can speak like, yo, what's up, da 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 da. It's just like, you can't really move around well when
that ain't the whole world.
That,
you know, and I mean, I think that that's one of the things that, like, because I've been in, you know, private, posh, upstate private schools, like, and, you know, I messed that up. I got kicked out of that. I had to go back to New York City, but to be around people like that, and I was young. You know, I was like 8th grade. My sisters are extremely smart, and they went through this program from New York City called Prep for Prep 9, and it helps inner city youth get into prep schools. And so, you know, they put me in the program. I got kicked out the program, and, you know, the guy took pity on us because he knew my sisters, and they had both gone through and he helped me get into this fancy ass school. And, you know, like, coat and tie every day.
Wow.
You know, and it was, but, like, you know, to be around those people, and you realize, like, oh, they're already looking at you like you know, and so you got to, you know, you got to learn how to speak to people. And so all of those things kind of shape, you know, so I've been in so many different situations. And so I can realize when I need to speak differently to somebody, or when I need to, like, you're not going to hear me if I'm talking very casually and normally, or you're going to count me, oh, this guy's like, sound crazy. Like, or like, so, you know, realize the situation and talk accordingly or whatever. But
this reminds me of Power. Did you ever watch that?
You know what? I don't watch a lot of TV.
His son, I forget his name, but the character, James St. Patrick, his son had to go to like a really prep school or something. Alrighty, so on to the last segment, fun stuff. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word?
Yeah. Or most used word. If someone's like, you know, it's Esco talking because he says blank, blank, blank.
I mean, people make fun of me because every couple, I'll be like, you're like, and they're like, or like, I don't know, I say that a lot. I don't know. But Some of it is like New York City stuff, like, you know what I mean? Or like, or little things that I say, and people be like, oh, you're so New York.
Yeah.
Like, what? What'd I say?
When you
but
said,
I don't hear it.
When you said something, I was like, oh my gosh. Because I didn't grow up in New York, but like I would go every summer to visit my grandma there. So it's like hearing that, it's like, oh, this reminds me of like.
Yeah, I don't even know what I say a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really listen to myself. You know, I don't get a lot of that. But
what are you OCD about?
I am OCD. I'm cleanliness.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I'm. You know. You should feel happy and about your surroundings. And part of that is just cleaning things. So,
yeah. What would you say to your younger self?
Call mommy. Talk to her about, because some of these decisions that I made, if I would have, called my mother, called my father, and had a conversation with them before I was about to do something like that, maybe you could get some better advice.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? My parents have been like tremendous, and they always walk the right path. Like these people are very like responsible, sane, smart individuals, and like they came for nothing. And they put it together.
Wow.
And they doing great. But like that advice is maybe more effective or better for you than some of the people that was giving me advice. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I would just, and we've always had communication. That's a big blessing in my life, my communication with them. But like, talk to them.
Yeah.
Call, when you about to make that decision or something big, you holler at them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to give you some better advice than what you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? And they've been extremely supportive my entire life. You know what I mean? Even though I went through some stuff, I put everybody through some, but like, they love me the same, and they're super supportive. So like, just,
That's amazing to have a great relationship with both parents, because some people only have it with one and some don't have it at all, Yeah,
and I mean, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Like, when you growing up in like a single parent household, you think that's normal, And I mean, like, my parents been together for 46 years.
Shoot, wow.
And they still cute. They still in love. They still nice to each other. So yeah, I mean, that's been amazing.
To wrap it up, what is your ultimate life motto?
I think that it's changing. It changes.
I like that.
In different sections of my life.
Yeah.
Right now, I think it's keep going. Just keep showing up, keep going every day. Things gonna get better. And I would keep going.
Well,
So,
Esco, thank you so
Thanks
much
for
for
having
this.
me.
I already know I'm gonna be like driving and just thinking. I'm gonna drive in silence because I want this to just run around in my spirit. But thank you so much
Thanks for
for your
having me.
time. Thank you that like it wasn't hard to be like, oh man, I'm here, but he's not here, and it's just smooth.
this has been amazing. I
Yeah.
think you're doing a wonderful thing. It's an awesome platform, and I'm flattered that you would have me on your show.
Yeah, from one boss to another.
That's right. That's right.